Hey, this is Larissa with Kintone Customer Success, and today we'll review the different login security settings you have for your subdomain. So let's navigate to our login settings. From Portal Home, we'll click the gear wheel, select Users and System Administration, and then let's go down to Login Security Settings under System Administration. So first we have Autocomplete Login Name. So when checked, this will auto-populate names when logging in. If you type in a letter and that letter is in 10 of your users' names, then all 10 of those users' names will pop up. And when you choose one, it will auto fill in their login name. So the reason that this notice pops up is because it is leaking the login name to anyone who has your subdomain URL. So this could make it easier for someone to access your subdomain, and therefore it is advised if you choose to use this, you should configure some type of authentication for your subdomain. So next we have save login name and password. So when checked, this will allow the web browser to save your login name and password. Note the web browser settings take precedent over this. So this setting will only work for those using specific web browsers. If your users are using Chrome, Firefox, or Safari, they will still be able to save their login name and password in the web browser, even when the setting is disabled here. So now we have automatic login. So select allow users to skip login step to enable automatic login. So in the remember me for the dropdown, you'll select the period of time for which the system remembers the user's login information. You can choose either 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month. And then we have the password policy section. So self-service change. When checked, this will allow your users to change their own password on the change password page in their account settings. Force password change. So when this is checked, this will force the user to reset their password after their first login or after a password change. So this just means they will be forced to create their own password instead of keeping the temp password that was given to them to log in initially. And next we have self-service reset. So when checked, this will allow users to reset their own password by clicking forgot your password on the login page. So if it's unchecked, your users are unable to reset the password on their own. They will need to contact a Kintone administrator to reset the password in their user profile of user administration. So this is now automatically checked by default when you create your subdomain. If it is not set, this may be because you opened your account prior to the update that made this a default setting. So next we have user password minimum length. Set this to require a certain password length for your users. Administrator password minimum length. Set this to require a certain password length for your administrators. And then we have password complexity. So none, there are no requirements, a combination of letters and numbers. The password is a mix of letters and numbers. And then we have a combination of letters, numbers, and symbols, which means their password must be a mix of letters, numbers, and symbols. Then we have login name as password. So when checked, you're allowing your users to use their login name as their password. When unchecked, they can't use their login name as their password. Password reuse limit. This determines when your users can reuse a password they had prior. You can set it up to 15. This means they can't reuse the first password until their 16th password change. And then passwords expire in. So you can force your users to change their password after 30, 60, 90, 180 days, a year, or unlimited, which would mean never. Next, we'll go down to the account lockout. So number of failed attempts before account lockout. You can choose the amount of times there is a failed login before the user is completely locked out. You can choose never or between 3 and 10 attempts. And then we have account lockout duration. So how long the account will remain locked. You can choose 3, 15, 30, 60 minutes, or never. And then we have session settings. So here you can set the session lifetime, which determines how long users can stay logged in without any activity, without getting logged out. So additional message on login failure. So here you can set a message that will display when a user enters a password incorrectly. So I have here, please contact Larissa, your Kintone administrator at larissa@kintone.com. She will assist in helping you regain access to your account. So this just lets your users know who the best person is to contact to reset their password if they have any issues. And then we have SAML authentication. So when checked, this will enable users to set up SAML authentication. And when you're all set with these settings, you'll click Save at the bottom. And thanks for watching this how-to on setting login security.